Something's happening. I'm not the Jedi I should be. I want more. And I know I shouldn't. I see through the lies of the Jedi. I do not fear the dark side as you do.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil!
I hate you!
You have hate. You have anger. But you don't use them.
You're fulfilling your destiny, Anakin.
Henceforth, you shall be known as Darth Vader.
Rise.
Hello everyone, Dana14 Prime here. Today I want to check out with you guys the Hot Toys Anakin Skywalker 6-scale figure from Revenge of the Sith. Get you a bit of an overview here. Nice wardrobe, right? He's got this whole Jedi tunic stuff going on. I don't know what you call all this. Kind of leather feeling through here. Cloth robes under here. He's got the big belt, which is well detailed. Pants down into basically like a full boot. Doesn't appear to be split, unfortunately. It might have been nice to have just a boot and then an ankle below for some better articulation, but it seems to work okay. He's got the the right arm piece there all wrapped up, and the head sculpt is excellent. We'll take a look at that. Generally trying to focus on Empire Strikes Back only. At least that's what I'm telling myself. Got rid of some New Hope figures, but had to go for Anakin here, because they did him up just really, really cool. He's sort of in really Darth Vader mode, pre the suit, which is what I love about it. And you'll see that on the head sculpt because he's got the scarring and all of that in the angry look. Real quickly, since we got him in here, let me back that up. Here we've got Anakin with his soon-to-be self. This is A New Hope. Hot Toys Darth Vader. Love this figure. Love-hate. It has its quirk with all the electronics and stuff like that are in there, but I think it's really unique. I don't think we'll get another one like this with the electronics, the voice box, the wardrobe, the way they did the hands for this one versus how they're doing them now. So kind of special. Got Empire on pre-order, but I think I probably would hold on to this guy. But as you can see, Anakin, sort of your normal 12-inch figure, and Vader here goes north of about 14 inches or so. So as we know, gets a bit bigger when he puts the suit on. All right, so let's take a quick look at the box here, and then we'll dig through and see what we all get. Typical kind of two-tone black Star Wars box. Some nice picture there of the figure, actually, in a nice pose. Now just kind of quickly, it's very typical here. All black, Star Wars up top. Shoebox style. This is Movie Masterpiece Series 437, if I hadn't mentioned yet. Go inside once the cover here. Another just awesome pic of the figure there, holding both lightsabers. And then you go underneath there, and of course, all the stuff that we'll go through. Before we go through all the goodies, let's jump in on Anakin here. Check out some of the details. I mean, it's a really nice figure. I mean, his head sculpt of Hayden Christensen here. Phenomenal. He's got the molded hair, which looks really, really good. A lot of hair in this figure. Really had a big do for this movie. But you can see there the scar on the right eye. Looks very, very good. Of course, the eye is fantastic, as always, with Hot Toys. The skin tone, just the look of intensity on the face is really good. And that brings out the Vader side, the Revenge of the Sith side. It's special in this movie. And I thought they did it really well in this figure. I think the neck, even down into the neck, a little bit shadowed there, but looks really good there as well. So really, really happy with that head sculpt there. Again, I'm looking at you. Eyes are more or less looking straight forward, so that's a good setup. And then, yeah, just the hair, spin it around. All molded in there. Tons of detail. Tons of kind of dark, light accents. Looks really good. So pretty happy with that. It is just a big chunk of hair back here. So in terms of the head articulation, it does sort of get in the way there a little bit. But overall, really happy with that. Then if we just come down, again, he's got It's just this leather robe piece, right? That comes under the belt and goes behind as well. We'll see. Got a robe here, and it looks like even something maybe underneath there wrapped in. So we've got some layers to them. Again, this is kind of like that typical pleather type material. Pretty much just brown on brown on brown. Pause here for a second to check out the belt. So there's a lot of cool detail on here. These little beads and everything. They even give you some extras. Should you have an issue with that, I guess you could replace them. Some nice detailing here. Buckle. Again, kind of a leather look on top of sort of cloth wrap type effect. Lightsaber holder right there. I don't know what these things are, but they had some nice details, some pouches around the back. All looks really cool. And pouch over there on the side front as well. The arms here, you can see, again, this is nice. This is, I'll call it plastic. I mean, it probably is. Wraps over the arm. You can take it off. This arm is interchangeable with the lightsaber effect. So we'll take a look at that. And then over here, just, more of a flowing robe. It hangs low enough that it covers his hand typically, unless you've got it out and posed or somehow sort of picking this up. He does have a bit of a, again, sleeve there underneath, which gets back to this. I haven't tried to undress the guy, but it seems he's got like a tunic probably over some sort of just, tighter fitting cloth underneath. Comes with a fist there, basically a pair of fists with the glove and the hand on, and a lot more in the box, which we'll take a look at. And again, if we didn't really notice the back of the figure, just how the leather piece comes down and around, shapes all through here. Sometimes I don't think it lays perfectly on kind of some of these shoulder areas or here into the belt. But it's okay. When you go to the movie, you actually do see this. It has some edge to it in terms of how it sticks out. It seems there's probably even there is a wire around the edge of this thing. So you can kind of pose that a bit on this edge. There is a wire in there. And then we'll just do bottom half here. Again, these kind of lift up separately. The leather piece, the cloth piece, and then, the full kind of robe effect of the tunic underneath. Lots of layers there into these kind of pants, which are kind of plain and brown, and maybe they could be a bit baggier compared to how they are in the movie, but it's all right. And yeah, it's just not a lot there. It does the same thing in the back with that split. Pretty plain brown pants. And then the boots here are nice. Check it out. It's all one boot, which is okay. Sometimes that can affect the ankle articulation. Sometimes it's nice to have just a cover there and a break in the ankle so you can get a better effect. But these aren't super stiff, so it's probably not too bad. Big head crack there for Anakin. And a nice kind of weathering there. It's got some black wash kind of across it. Looks good. And his knee is loose. And then underneath there, you can see some of the molding in terms of the sole of the foot. It looks all right. And yeah, guy's got that nice hairspray helmet on, so no issues back of the head there with that little tumble. So first accessory Anakin comes with, and he comes with this on straight out of the box, is his robe. Big, long, flowing robe. Covers the ends of his hands, comes down to the top of the shoe, and this whole piece is enormous. There is a light wire through the hood section. You can check that out. It's just, a big cloak. Just totally covers the guy. I don't know. I don't love it. Just something really plain about it. That I just don't love it. And it's really just it's really light. So it doesn't pose or anything. It just kind of flows and flops down. And yeah, it just engulfs the whole figure. So, I guess that's what it's supposed to do, but something about the way, try to get it to lay, that I just don't always love. I'm sure you could play with it forever. But that's sort of what I can do in short time. It's all right. Okay, so let's go through right hands here for Anakin. In addition to the fists, on that right gloved hand, you get 3 additional hands. You get this here too. I don't know, force push type looking hand. The glove's got a nice detail on the back. And you can see some accents there on the palm as well. He also comes with this right hand with the glove. Again, sort of kind of a light grip effect. And then he has this hand, which is truly a light grip effect, and this is really for holding the lightsaber. Then here for the left hand, in addition to the fists on the figure, you get 4 additional hands. You can check out there the skin tone, kind of a little bit of vein effect through there. You can see some of that detailing, so very cool. This is the lightsaber holding hand for the left. Here we've got, again, sort of a very light grip, again, probably force action type hand. It is unique, so what's interesting is you don't get a lot of pairs here. Pair of fists, pair of lightsaber holding hands is really the pairs. The rest are really unique. Some of the differences are slight, because this looks a lot like this hand, right? But it is actually different when you look at how the fingers actually go on the inside and how wide open it is with the thumb. Then you have here kind of the open palm on your face hand. Look at the inside of that hand, all that nice detail there across the finger joints and everything. Very cool. Palm in your face. And then finally here for the left, it's a bit of one of these 2-finger up hands, but the pinky and ring finger remained a bit higher. Again, you might think, oh, that was kind of like this one, but you can see clearly it is not. It's different. So that's what's interesting about the figure. Lots of unique hands for each left or right. And again, check that out. A lot of great detail inside the hand with just the skin kind of wrinkling and stuff like that. So very cool. So next up here, let's check out the lightsabers. Here you've got Dooku's, and then there you've got Anakin's. So very, very cool. Nice long red lightsaber. Of course, it's going to, detach the blade if you like. We can take a closer look at the hilt. So Dooku's hilt here, just really cool. It's got that curve to it. This little kind of guard effect there, which is really nice. See the grip and everything, the detailing. High on the handle versus the grip low on the handle. It's got this kind of chunky base, weighted end to it. Provides some balance. So really nice. Not LED. This is just a regular holding saber. And again here, the not LED version of Anakin's lightsaber. And the LED is done by the whole arm effect. So we'll take a look at that. Here's the saber. A lot of folks know what that looks like, right? The grip all at the base. The buttons and everything going on, pretty clean. Up the hilt with the silver. Very sharp. And again, because I had Vader handy, here you've got Anakin's on the left versus the iteration that becomes the red Darth Vader lightsaber. You can just see the similarity and inspiration there. And here's Anakin holding both of those lightsabers. As I mentioned, he comes with an extra wrist peg for each hand. I just used the one on this hand. The robe here does have a light wire around the wrist, so you can shape that a bit. Comes with some little extras, these little dots for the belt. You get a couple extras of those if they were to fall off. And also some pieces to attach the lightsabers to the hilt, kind of little peg pieces. So if you want to attach the lightsaber to the hilt, there's that little peg piece that is difficult to see. But you just plug this little peg in the hilt there. This little hole plugs right in. That just provides sort of the hooking mechanism, essentially, to hang it off of the clip there. They've done it differently than at least my Vader, where he had like a little metal ring on the saber. And it looks like Dooku's blade here has actually got just a really small nub there already plugged in on the end that will go in there if you want to put that on the belt. So there you go. And next up here we have the mechanical right arm, the bionic arm underneath. Really, really cool. One of the, probably the nicest accessory in the kit overall. Very interesting. You can see all this great golden black paint, and then you can see all the mechanical detail inside there, the forearm. Again, it's articulated, so we'll get it on him and take a look, but just look at that. really, really cool. And this in the instructions probably comes with the most warnings about making sure you don't break it. So it's got articulation. I guess it's maybe a bit more delicate than a regular arm. So that's the watch out. So to put the mechanical arm on, you have to take the brace off, brace, whatever. So you can see how those straps just kind of have some pegs there up top. So you can loosen them. You can take off our hand here, hopefully without breaking the peg. Slide that off, or it opens up as well. I'm just being kind of careful with it. It's flexible. And then we just got to get high up on the arm here, of course. Roll the sleeve. And then there it becomes pretty obvious when you've hit pay dirt, because you can see the flesh tone arm. I'm going to pull this apart. Typical plug. And we'll just plug that right back in the way it came. The other one came. So there we are with the arm on Anakin. It looks pretty cool when you put him on, and you're basically going to hide all that great detail. So I don't know what the right way is to display him with this. Maybe you would sort of have the sleeve rolled up and try to have him looking at his hand or something. I don't know. That's probably the best way to do it. But you could, of course, cover it back up, put the bracer on there, and just have the hand showing as well. But in terms of articulation, I mean, he's got a double-jointed elbow with this thing. It's a swivel there, right at the high form. Very typical hand there, and it pivots there at the wrist, and of course, kind of rotates back and forth. And then the fingers all come in a bit as well. Trying to see if he has any other knuckles. Yeah, he's got a mid knuckle. There's two knuckles there. High and mid. So you have that as well. And then, it's your choice in terms of where you put the sleeve to show how much you want to show. Do you roll up the sleeve? Stuff like that. But really, really sharp looking. And then if you wanted to have him holding one of those lightsabers, he can do it. It's not the firmest, most flush grip, but you definitely get enough articulation of his fingers to tighten down on that hilt. And then, of course, last accessory here in terms of the figure is the LED arm, pretty typical with how we're seeing this done. Again, it's going to plug and play just like the mechanical arm, all fixed, holding the lightsaber. You can't swap that out or anything. But I don't like to put batteries in my figures, and I don't want to hurt them or touch them. And just kidding, guys. You're watching Day in the 14th Prime, man. Yeah, we're going to check this out. Those videos where they're like all white gloved and don't want to do stuff to the figure. Yeah, you won't see that here, man. Let's check this out. So I snapped up the arm just as we saw with the mechanical arm. And with this situation, because the hand is fixed on there, you do have to take the bracer and really kind of open it up around the arm and the sleeve. Just do as little as you can. But that's how you're going to have to put that piece on for this setup. Okay, we got the bracer over the arm. Trick is to really just pull as much as the sleeve slack up as you can so you don't have it bunching up around the wrist. Take the lightsaber, plug that into the fixed hilt. Okay, guys, honestly, just when I think Hot Toys can't be a bigger pain in the ass with switches than they have been in the past, the switch for the lightsaber is under the bracer. So if you ever want to have this LED on or off, you got to take the bracer on or off to get to the switch. Terrible. Always my number one complaint with Hot Toys is just make the switches easy to get to so we can use the gimmicks. That's why so many people don't bother to put the batteries in. It's just difficult, if you do, to even use the feature. But let's just turn down the lights here. You can see the saber. I mean, it showed it pretty well with all the lights on, frankly. But gives you a sense of what that looks like. And it's always cool. It looks neat. Actually, a blue light that comes out of the saber even, the hilt. there. Hopefully you can see some of that blue into the blue blade. Just grab Dooku's blade here. I'm sure it's going to look weird. It doesn't even look like it's capable of lighting up. It must be designed differently. Or it's the blue light or something, but honestly, that doesn't even look like it's getting any light up in there at all, the Dooku blade. So it's cool, I dig it. You know, honestly, you know, after the review, it's like something you use once a year maybe. Often because it's just so difficult to get on. You got to swap out the arm. Switches aren't easy to get to. So I'm just taking it in while I can here. Then while I have the saber arm on, I'll just do, I mean, the articulation is really the same, right? So you can get the arm up, down, bend it with a double jointed elbow. That's pretty good. There you get the swivel. Swivel in this arm, you gotta make sure you grab the whole arm, not just the bracer, which kind of spins around the arm. So you get a swivel there, kind of wrist side, and then the hand also. They say 150 degrees. It seems like it could almost spin all the way around. I don't know, but I'll just go with the instructions. You get some tilt there as well. It's pretty good articulation in the LED arm. And then finally, the last thing is, of course, the base. So you have this option to just kind of go black. I mean, all black, gloss finish. Star Wars Anakin Skywalker. So you can keep it simple. Rectangular base. Comes with this sticker. You can stick this actually if you prefer, or you could even just lay it down. If you wanted, it gives you sort of that lighted grate effect. Be pretty typical Star Wars sort of floor. And then he's got, you know, the crotch grabber stand. You want to peg that down. Fairly basic stuff here. Let's tick through the articulation quickly. I mean, pretty overall basic figure. So not a lot of constraints, I think. You know, head. The main thing to watch is just all this enormous helmet hairspray dew in the back and just how that sort of clears around the neck and stuff, but looks down really well. If anything, that limits a bit how he can look up. Starts to push in on his shoulders. The arms here, they go up fine. You know, they go forward like that. Double jointed elbow, I think we've seen a couple times through here. Got a swivel up there at the shoulder. And then, of course, you know, typical peg there at the wrist that pivots and then, or spins, and then you have your pivot joint as well. Rotation at the waist, you know, a little limited. 45 degrees probably that way, each way. Not really much crunch there at all in the torso or anything. You get a bit more sort of arch in the back, going back. Down here at the legs. Mainly it gets tight here at the seam of the crotch. So you go about like that. And goes up pretty well. It goes back just a smidge. Good double jointed knee. Get you pretty much all the way there. Swivel up there at the hip. And then here, you know, the foot. Like I said, the boot sort of is going to give you some resistance, but point's all right. It's definitely tilting in there. So the boot provides a, you know, bit of limitation, but the movements are there. So overall, I'd say pretty good articulation. I mean, what do you expect within a Hot Toys, and the costume doesn't really limit too badly. So there you have it, guys. Hot Toys Anakin Skywalker. Pretty much the anointed Darth Vader at this point in the movie, and this look of the figure, so that's why I picked him up. Very happy with it, I think. Again, great head sculpt. The lightsabers are cool. The uniform and everything, the wardrobe, though basic, is movie accurate. Mechanical arm was a nice touch. The typical LED arm with my usual switch complaints from Hot Toys. And then probably my only other complaint would just be all the activity this bracer takes with going on and off, with switching out that arm. You know, could that take some wear? Could that take some damage if you did that a lot? Would be a concern in the long run. But overall, happy I picked him up. Check the link in the description below if you're interested in picking up Anakin, Darth Vader. Alright guys, thanks for checking in. See you next time.